Hey everybody, David Gordon here from TheaterMania. It is Wednesday, May 6th. May is just flying by already, and we've got Arielle Jacobs here. Hi Arielle, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You're coming to us from sunny Miami.
I am. I am in Miami, Florida.
And has the weather been nice? Because it's very murky here in New York City today.
Yeah, the weather's actually really hot today. It's like 90 something and sunny, but that's like every day.
Yeah.
Miami, I mean, we had maybe 2 days of rain since I've been here.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. It's just been raining nonstop here in New York City, with the exception of a couple of very beautiful days when too many people are gathering in public.
I know. I know. I've seen pictures like that. And I know that's happening here too, but we haven't really left the house.
Yeah. So you were, when all of this went down, you were finishing up your last week in Aladdin as Jasmine. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. So we actually my husband and I got married 2 months ago today. So 2 month
Happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Thank you. And after that happened, I went into Aladdin on Broadway. I was supposed to have 2 weeks in the show left.
Oh no, you're muted. Hang on. I'll fix you. There we go. Nope, your mic is, there we go.
Hi, I'm back.
There we go. Better.
Okay. Yeah, so after my wedding, I was supposed to have 2 weeks left as Jasmine, and then with the shutdown, I got three shows.
Ah.
And I had to peace out. Everyone did. So yeah, I was very grateful to have 3 shows. But it was crazy. Just it's so crazy that Broadway has been shut down for so long. It's never happened.
I know. It's never happened.
Never.
Yeah. If you have questions for Arielle, pop them in the comments. We'll get to them. So you've been doing Aladdin since 2016, right?
Yeah, my first time in Aladdin was in Australia. I opened the Australian company as Jasmine in Sydney, and I spent 6 months there. And then I had, I think a year off before, maybe a little more than a year before they asked me to join the Broadway company.
What was it like to do that show in Australia? Well, how did that come about?
How did that come about? My brother originated Aladdin on Broadway. And I had heard that they were casting for Australia. And it actually happened because Courtney Reed, who was playing Jasmine at the time, she kind of brought my name up to Casey Nicola, the director, and was like, you should see Arielle Jacobs for Jasmine because she's really good, and I think it'd be really fun for her and Adam to be doing it at the same time. Of the world. So I was able to get an audition because of that, and then I had the normal audition and callback sessions and all of that, along with all these other potential Jasmines. And then when I finally got the part, I don't know if you've seen the reveal video on YouTube.
I saw that.
Yeah, of me telling my parents, and that gosh, that was so fun. But I had always wanted to go to Australia. What's funny is my brother went to Australia when he was in 8th grade, I think. And I was young. I was really little, but I remember thinking how cool that Adam gets to go to Australia. I want to go to Australia. And then I finally got to go.
You're working there for a whole 6 months.
I was working there for 6 months, yeah.
What was the audience like in Australia for Aladdin? Because we know here everybody goes crazy every night for it.
Yeah, and the same thing in Australia. Everyone went crazy. Everyone loved the show. The only difference, I think, there was a couple little line changes that Janie said. I don't know. Instead of diapers, we said nappers or something different. And then also we didn't see a lot of people at the stage door, which I wasn't expecting. In Broadway, and most of the theaters across the whole U.S., people know, oh, you want to meet the cast, you go to the stage door, you get autographs after the show.
Yeah.
And I think in Australia, it's not very well known. And so that was surprising.
So you'd be like walking out on the first night waiting for the adoring public, and it'd just be like the weed rolling by.
Well, there was usually a few people there, and on opening night, closing nights, there was, of course, people there. But most of the shows, there'd only be like 3 or 4 people. It's not like, I'm used to seeing a lot of, especially because it's a Disney show. There's, families go back there. And also my first Disney show was High School Musical when I started as Gabriella. And that show, I will say, the adoring fans, like that was nuts. How much?
Really?
What did you say?
I didn't expect that.
For High School Musical?
I didn't. It's funny because everybody thinks of the movie, and then you only think of the show as like a show they do in schools. But I always forget that it went out on tour for a while.
Yeah, it was my very first big show. It was a Disney theatricals production. It was a production contract, everything, and we toured all across the U.S. We did 2 stops in Canada. And the hype that was there at the time was unlike anything. The sound of the audience when before the curtain went up, just the overture started playing opening night. It sounded so loud that all of us were like in shock backstage. Yeah. We thought, do they think that we're like, do they think we're in sync or something? Like, what is going on? And also because the balcony was full of high school kids and middle school kids who all knew the choreography. So then we're all in this together and breaking free, they were doing the dance at the same time. And the people up there told me that they thought the balcony was shaking so much it felt like it was going to fall down. How
does that compare to like doing Wicked on Broadway or doing In the Heights or something?
Well,
the craziest audience you've ever experienced?
The In the Heights closing night on Broadway was similar to that, actually. I was so lucky to play Nina in the closing cast. And that closing weekend on Broadway was like, they were yelling and standing ovations after every song. And even during the songs, they were up out of their seats, like with their flags and with their cell phones during blackout. And it was so loud and so wild. Wicked, when I did Wicked on Broadway, I didn't hear that kind of crazy frenetic energy. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's an opening night and a closing night thing, because it's been going for 15 years. I don't know how many years.
True. That is true. It's been going for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in a Princess Jasmine question.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about Jasmine?
Brianna. Hi, Brianna. My favorite thing about Jasmine is that she's so freaking awesome. She's so badass and strong, and she speaks her mind. And, she's courageous for standing up for herself and what she believes in. And I think that's such a unifying thing for all Disney princesses, really, because they are all this beautiful combination of strong and free thinkers who have deep values and aren't afraid to express them. But at the same time, they don't come across as cold.
Right.
They're very warm, and they are compassionate. So it's this like compassion and kindness mixed in with not being afraid to speak up for yourself and know your self-worth.
Yeah. You've always wanted to be a Disney princess, I imagine.
I have always wanted to be a Disney princess. Yeah.
Did it live up to the hopes, the expectations?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I still, to this day, I'm like, that didn't happen. What do you mean I was Princess Jasmine? I don't even think that's real. Yeah, that was getting to see, it's weird. It does feel like sometimes it wasn't real.
Mm.
Because when I put on the costume and I put on the crown and I go on stage, I don't feel like I'm myself.
Right.
It wasn't me. And I guess that happens as an actor in a lot of characters. So maybe sometimes it doesn't. Maybe sometimes you are you. I think maybe as Gabriella in High School Musical, I felt more like me.
Well, tell me about Between the Lines, which was the show that you should have been in right now.
I know. Today was our opening night.
Was it really? I didn't realize. I didn't think of that.
tomorrow was supposed to be opening night for Between the Lines at Second Stage off Broadway. And we are, not there. But Between the Lines is a gorgeous show. It's such a beautiful show. And I don't know if people know about it.
I think a lot of people do know about it.
They do?
No, I don't. I think people are still like learning about it and finding out about it.
Okay. Well, I could tell you a little bit about it.
Please, yeah.
Okay, so Between the Lines is based on a book by Jodi Picoult and her daughter, Samantha Van Leer. And it's a book about this young girl who's named Delilah McPhee. That's me, Delilah McPhee. I wear glasses in the show.
Yeah.
Delilah loves books, and she comes from a broken home, and she's having a really hard time. Like, she gets bullied in school, and she escapes into reading books to kind of escape her life. Because she doesn't feel like she's important and nobody really pays attention to her. And then she makes a wish one day that this heroic lead of her favorite adventure novel comes to life. His name is Prince Oliver, and he has the answers to everything, and he's so cool and badass and sexy. It's like the first crush she's ever had. And then one day her wish comes true, and he actually comes to life on the page in front of her. But then they form a relationship and they kind of develop feelings for each other. The thing is, though, that he eventually tells her how much he doesn't like where he is in this book, and he needs help, and he wants her to save him from his reality that he doesn't like. So she goes on this incredible adventure and this journey where she has to figure out how to write a story that you want to live in. How to write your own story and how to be the hero of your own story instead of, trying to get a prince or anyone else to save you.
How long have you been involved with this project?
We had our first reading, I think was in 2016, right before I did Jasmine in Australia.
So you've been seeing this through for a long time.
Yeah. It's been 4 years since then. We had one production out of town regionally in Kansas City, which was amazing. It was a short run. That was like 2.5 weeks. And I think that was in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the show? Like, what do you like about the material?
Oh God, the material is incredible. The score by Kate Anderson and Elisa Samsel
were wonderful.
I mean, I don't know if the people watching this have seen any of the music videos that came out, or the SoundCloud has like an EP that dropped with 3 songs. I had one song that just got released yesterday on Playbill that nobody had heard yet. And the music is so good. It's like they're like the modern day Alan Menken writers. It's kind of like Disney meets Dear Evan Hansen meets Wicked.
Awesome.
If you can put all of that music together in your head, and there's like such good like bop songs that you want to dance to, like Ally McAndrews, and then there's also really, heartfelt, deep, story-driven songs that you wouldn't expect. But the story makes you connect to yourself and makes you realize in all the ways that you've struggled in your life, but then came out stronger on the other end. And it's a reminder to be brave, I think, and have the courage to change your perspective.
And it sounds very empowering too.
Yeah. And it's an all-female writing team pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's Kate Anderson, Elisa Samsel, it's Jodi Picoult, Daryl Roth, our incredible producer.
Incredible. And do you have any idea like what's going to happen once everything reopens eventually?
Yeah, we actually got an email yesterday, and they just said that we're now looking at a opening for spring of 2021.
Oh, good. So this time next year.
This time next year, yeah, spring next year. We're looking for an opening in that time frame.
Oh, good. I hope to see it. I've heard the music. The music sounds really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that I was looking forward to. To see.
I think everyone's going to be needing like a really heartwarming story to come out of this quarantine, and when we're finally able to be together in the same place.
Yeah.
I think that most people are going to want something that makes them feel good.
Yeah. What speaking of shows that make people feel good, I want to talk about Wicked.
Okay.
What was it like to be in Wicked? Because that show is enormous.
Yeah, Wicked is enormous. It's like its own universe, which is so cool. It's like all the different words that it's like a made up world.
Yeah.
Yes, Aladdin is too, but different. Wicked was amazing. I actually auditioned for that 3 times over the course of 8 years before I got cast. Yeah. And growing up, my favorite movie was Wizard of Oz.
Uh-huh.
So I always loved the story of Wizard of Oz, and it's a take on that. It's a different story, it's different songs, but the songs are. Stephen Schwartz is such a brilliant writer and composer. So the songs they take you on such a journey, and to hear that music every night, I loved it. I had a lot of great Elphabas too. I had so many Elphabas. I was there for almost a year, 11 months.
Who are your Elphabas, and who are your Bachs? Because you were Nessa.
I was Nessarose, yeah. My Bach was my first Bach was Robin DeJesus.
Awesome.
Who also is from In the Heights, like me. And my Elphabas were Jenny DeNoia, Christine Dwyer, Carolyn Bowman, Rachel Tucker.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had some good ones. I had really good ones.
Yeah.
And then I had like Lily Cooper, she was a standby at the time too.
Yeah. Is In the Heights as fun to do every night as it looks, or?
Oh yeah. I mean, I will say, okay, so I've gotten to do 2 roles in the Heights.
Yeah.
In the national tour and on Broadway, I played Nina. And then I did a regional production where I played Vanessa, and my husband was playing the Snavi.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what's cool is I will say In the Heights is one of the most fun musicals to do, because the music is, it's Latin, it's salsa, it's everything. But as Nina Rosario, you don't get to really be in any of those songs. You're just really depressed the whole time, and you have your own show, and very much similar to Jasmine and Aladdin, you have your own show. You don't see anybody backstage, hardly.
Right. You're not in Friend Like Me. You're not in any of that stuff.
Exactly. You're not in. I mean, Nina's not in Carnaval. She comes in at the end, runs in crying at the end to break the mood. So, but when I played Vanessa, I live my dreams. When I was in that salsa club and I got to be like the main event and all the guys are dancing around me, that was the most fun.
That's so good. Where is that how you met your husband?
No, we'd actually already been together for a while, because I was on tour with his sister, Natalie Caruncho, in the Heights. She was actually one of my understudies in the Heights. And then she actually was in On Your Feet on Broadway. She was a dance captain there. She was a dance captain in Swing, and she sets that show around the world. So she recently set the show over in London. And so she and I were best friends on the tour, and her brother used to come visit all the time, and I was like, this guy's so cute. But actually, I think everyone was in love with him. Everyone in the whole cast was in love with him because he's so charming.
Tell me about your wedding. Was your wedding supposed to be 2 months ago, or did you move it up, like seeing that stuff was happening?
No, actually, it was exactly right. It was supposed to be March 6th. When we were planning a date, at the time, we were thinking later, maybe in the fall. And then I moved it up because in the Heights, Between the Lines, we were supposed to start rehearsals at the end of March, the day after my final show at Aladdin. And I was like, if I'm going from Aladdin, my final show, and the next day into Between the Lines, and then who knows if it transfers from off-Broadway to Broadway, who knows when that happens, like, we should try and get this wedding done before I go into Between the Lines, because everything after that is so up in the air.
Yeah.
So we decided March 6th. We actually were undecided between March 6th and the weekend after, the 13th, 14th. And had we waited to the weekend after, like, it would have been canceled.
Yeah.
The wedding planner said that we were the final wedding of the year. All of the rest got canceled. So we were so lucky. We got married in Tulum, Mexico.
Was it the wedding of your dreams?
It was the wedding of my dreams, which I don't even know how to explain that because I've never dreamt of what my wedding would be like, you know? We also did not, it was very unorthodox because during the planning stages, we never got to go down there. So we never saw the venue. We never met we never met the planner or the florist or the chef or anybody. We were kind of just, FaceTiming. We had to FaceTime the food tasting. Our wedding planner sat and ate all the food while we FaceTimed him.
Oh, that's good. It's delicious. Yeah, you should go with this one.
Yeah. It was hilarious, but it actually it worked in our favor because we had a vegan wedding. It was all plant-based food. My husband is vegan. I'm close to that, but our wedding planner was not. He is a meat eater through and through. So he was very honest about how it tasted. A lot of our guests are, not plant-based. And so he was very honest. He's like, this one, I don't know about this one. Or this one's really good. Oh my God, I could eat this all night. So we really were able to take his word on it.
I'm glad you got it in just under the wire.
Yeah. And we didn't know, to get to our venue and even the wedding itself, like to get there and be like, oh, wow, this is what they decided to do.
Yeah.
It was a total surprise. And it really was the wedding of my dreams. But we were surrounded by all of our friends and family that came. We had a week-long adventure wedding. So we had 3 or 4 days before the wedding. The wedding was on Friday. And then we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We had full events for all of the guests who wanted to come. We had, let's go climb to the top of the Mayan ruins on this day. And let's go zip lining in the rainforest or the jungle on this.
That's awesome.
So every day, all of the guests had activities that they could join in and they could meet each other and they could, kind of become comfortable with each other doing these risky, courageous, fun things. And then for the actual wedding, it was like everyone already felt like a family.
Yeah.
So,
that's really nice.
It was amazing.
I'm going to go back to the questions here. Who's your favorite Aladdin that you've gotten to play opposite?
That is a not fair question, Hannah. Not fair at all. I've loved all of my Aladdins. I guess, they always say your first one has a special place in your heart. So my first Aladdin was Ainsley in Australia, Ainsley Melham. He was supposed to be back on Broadway right now.
Yeah.
Doing it. He and I had time in Australia to do it opposite each other. And then also he came to Broadway for a few months. I don't remember how long.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he also was in the recording that they did film a live version, and I don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah, I knew that. I don't think they've actually said when it's coming out. Yeah.
Not yet.
Someone asked if you were ever co-starred with your brother.
Never, and never would be, never will be.
I'm sure they took great pains to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, I think somebody even joked about it. Like when I was back on Broadway, people always say that once you're in Aladdin, you don't leave because they bring people back for, appearances and And then when I was in Aladdin on Broadway, everyone was joking to my brother, like, dude, you're never coming back. Like, this can't happen. You can't be kissing your sister. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed your time, but you're not coming back. No, never.
What is it like to ride the magic carpet? Oh, I hear a dog in the background.
No, he's like, let me up. Come here. Oh, he's down. He's on Instagram. Check out the Broadway pup.
The Broadway pup. All right, you heard it, everybody. The Broadway pup. What is it like to ride the magic carpet? Is it scary the first time?
Well, a lot of people ask that. I think it probably looks a lot scarier from the audience because you're so far beneath the stage. But from where I am, but okay, granted, I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah.
If you are afraid of heights, it could be scary for you. I'm sorry. But I wasn't scared at all. It's, first of all, it's very sturdy. You're not afraid you're going to fall. And it's very slow. Yeah. It's very slow. So you kind of feel like you're on a kid's ride, like a Disney World, like the Seven Mines Dwarves train or something, where you're like turning and then you go this way. I really loved being up there though, because I could hear the audience gasp whenever we first started to fly. It's such a magical moment in the show because you hear the audience go, and sometimes I could even hear little kids go, wow. And I loved it. And also you could see the lights in the audience. I always felt like the lights that were, in the aisles, how there's the lights at the base of the seats going all the way up the theater. There's 3 levels at the Aladdin Theater. And I would look at that and I would feel like they were stars.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We were actually flying in space.
I will leave you with the question. My daughter Laurel, what advice would you give to young actresses?
People who want to be on Broadway, I would say that if you want to do this, you need to trust that your dreams were given to you because you are meant to share them. It's not an easy road. It's definitely not an easy road. There's a lot of rejection. I was told one time you get 1 out of every 100 auditions that you go on. And I feel like that's true.
Yeah.
In my experience, it seems like I work a lot. But you guys, I audition and audition and audition and audition. And the thousands and tens of thousands of auditions I didn't get, you have to just let it go. So there's a lot of rejection. You need a lot of good self-esteem in this business. You need a lot of good self-worth, knowing. And I think that the self-worth comes from 2 things. Knowing that the dream that you have is a prophecy and it's going to come true. You have it because it's a prophecy of your future and it's going to come true. And you can't control the how, you can't control the when, but if you actually believe it's going to come true and you work, this is the other thing, if you work really, really hard at bettering your skills simultaneously and you keep putting yourself out there with, auditions or like reaching out to people, getting yourself in as many performance opportunities as you can, those things simultaneously will line up and eventually the opportunities will show up that you're right for, that you've prepared for, and that you physically are right for. So many things you can't control. You can't control if you're physically the right type for something, right. If you're too tall, if you whatever. But if you believe in yourself and you believe that your dreams will come true and you work hard at the same time, those don't have to conflict. You can know that you have to be better at bettering your skills while also know that your dreams will come true. If those 2 things are simultaneous, then I think that you will achieve your dreams.
Arielle, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, David. It was so
good. Appreciate it. And everybody, thanks for watching. We are back tomorrow at 2 with Colton Ryan from Girl from the North Country. Thanks again, Arielle. Congratulations. Happy 2-month anniversary.
Thank you. And happy 5-month anniversary?
It's 6 months next week.
Happy anniversary, 6 months to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.